Hey, are we live? I think we are. I'm trying something new today. I'm also going to try to stream live to Instagram as well. I think it's working. I think we're live on Instagram. I think we're live on Facebook and on YouTube. This is the coolest thing. And we're talking about something today that's super important, which is tension. So, the topic of the day is the top 4 tensions that are sabotaging your voice and how to stop them. So, I'm going to show you how to identify what these are. These are physical tensions we're talking about, okay? Why they exist and the best practices for releasing them and undoing them. And when I tell you that eliminating tension in singers' voices is my jam, it is my special mojo. And so, because of that, I'm really excited to be able to share this with you today. So, if you are watching on Instagram, say hi. This is my first time live on IG, and I can't believe I figured out how to do it. You guys, if you get to know me, I'm kind of a tech tard. But here's the thing. Let's get right to the point. Tension and strain. It is the deadly duo for most singers. It is the resonance killer. It destroys pitch. It slays your stamina. And it is the silent but deadly career cut shorter, if that's a word, career killer, if you're really trying to do this professionally. But today I'm going to share with you something that's going to make these two menaces, tension and strain, kind of your best friend. And let me assure you, I have not gone totally crazy. I'm not totally insane. It just, I happen to know something that you don't know. And before we get into that, first though, I want to take a poll. So, first, I'm going to list different kinds of tension or strain that you might experience while singing. And if you experience those, I want you to type me into the comments if I say one that you experience when you sing. Okay. So, let's try this. Neck tension, anyone? Neck tension? Jaw tension? Who feels that one? Jaw tension? Tongue tension? This one could feel, if you ever feel like you get that Kermit the Froggy sound, it's the Shakira sound. Sorry, Shakira, but you have tongue tension. That's why you sound like this. My hips don't lie. That's the tongue tension. Okay, so do you experience tongue tension? Do you ever experience your torso locking? Like a lot of tension where you feel like your ribs are just locking and holding in on you and you feel really tight. What about tension on high notes? What about tension on low notes? What about tension belting? So these are places where tension tends to come in your body physically, torso, neck, tongue, jaw, and also when they occur. High notes, low notes, long phrases, stamina, belting, okay? And if you're experiencing these things, even let's say like even in ad libs, fast passage work, that's another time tension can creep in. The reason it's so bad, you guys, is because singing, it's an energetic exchange. It is, think about sound as a form of energy, like light, like heat, right? It's a form of energy, and the best sound and the best connection with your audience is made when that energy flows through you uninterrupted to your audience in the form of sound. But physical tension and strain blocks that from happening. So I just want to go and look at, because we're on like 3 different platforms today. So I see a bunch of you on Instagram are saying that you're experiencing stuff like that. I see people saying me who are on Facebook. It sucks because it makes you feel really insecure. And what happens when you're insecure is now your body grabs and now you're in even more tension. So let me just explain to you one example of how this all works, okay? So let's talk about neck tension. And let's talk about neck tension on the inhale. And so what does that look like? Neck tension on the inhale. It looks like an inhale that's like this. You see all that tension in my neck, around my throat, around my larynx? And I guarantee you, a lot of you are breathing like that and you don't even realize it. And so what that does is it blocks that free flow of air and energy into your body. Because here's what happens. Your neck muscles contract and constrict around your trachea, around your windpipe. So you don't get enough air on that inhale because you're constricting around it. And so now you're starting whatever phrase it is that you're singing from a place of tension. And now you're going to take that tension into the whole rest of the phrase. And so the sound is squashed, it's pinched, it's probably very pitchy, it's not open, it's not free, and it doesn't feel good. I mean, forget about sound good, it doesn't feel good. And you guys, the best sound is the one that feels the best. If it does not feel good to you, if it feels tense or strained, it is because you are not doing it the most efficient way, okay? So now back to the example about tensing on the inhale in your neck. What can also happen is now you've got all this tension squeezing around your trachea, squeezing around your larynx, and you're gonna push now because there is a block in the open channel that should be there for the air and the sound to move. And so now your body has got this giant block, and your body's got to get this air past this block. And so what you're going to do is you're going to end up sending way too much air to try to bust through this dam that you've created, this block, and you're going to blow out the note. Or worse, you're not going to make it to the end of the phrase because you're using so much air. You're just flooding because your body's like, how am I going to get this out? I got to push past this block that I've created. So now you're pushing. And now you're going to have to breathe much more often because all those breaths are now more shallow, more tense. You're not going to get as much air because when you're tensing, you close the space. And so you get way less air. And so now the fear of running out of breath has been totally stoked. And you're going to feel the need to draw in even more air. And so now you're going to tense your neck even more to try to help you draw even more in, which puts you in even more tension. And now we have a giant negative feedback loop. And it sucks. It really sucks. So why would I ever in a million years suggest that tension and strain should become your new best friends? Because, guys, they are a giant mirror. They're a giant mirror. You see, tension in your body, you guys, it is your body's physical reaction to fear and uncertainty in your mind. And so it could be fear because your technique is inefficient, so you don't trust your body when you sing. And that lack of trust then creates this desire to want to control things. Since you don't trust because you don't have technique that you can trust. So you tense, you push, you strain, you manipulate. In any one of these places, your torso, in your neck, in your tongue, in your jaw, it's you trying to control something because the thing that should be controlling the sound and supporting the sound, namely your lower breath support, is not doing what it needs to do. It could also be because there's a fear and a limiting belief you have that you're not enough. So you guys follow my content all the time. You understand that the body can't do what the brain is sabotaging. And your body is only ever reacting to what's going on in your mind. So if you have beliefs that are causing you, for example, to feel like you're not enough, now you've got something to prove when you sing. And that creates a desire to want to overdo and to force and to prove, which are all versions of tension that lead to discomfort and strain. And the bad sound and the bad feeling and the bad audition and the bad recording and the bad pitch and the dominoes fall, okay? It could also be fear, for example, of a high note that's coming up. It could be that simple. And so you brace yourself for that note because you're scared, because you don't know if you're going to make it. And now that manifests in tension in the body. Here comes the note, right? But the irony, guys, and what I really want you to get here, like if you learn nothing else in this live about tension today, what I really want you to get is the irony that the physical reaction that your body has to the fear of singing poorly is exactly what is creating that tension that creates the bad sound that you are afraid of making in the first place. So let me say that again. The physical reaction your body has to the fear of singing poorly, the fear of embarrassing yourself, the fear of not getting what you want or losing what you have on this journey with your voice, that fear, okay, the physical reaction your body has to that fear is exactly what creates the bad sound that you are so afraid of making in the first place. Do you get that? This is really important. So the reason why tension and strain are going to become your new best friend is because they are a mirror, a giant mirror showing you where the holes are in your technique and in your mindset and where you have work to do. So tension and strain is not the problem, guys. They're just symptoms of the greater problem, which is that an unexamined mindset is running the show and sabotaging your instrument. Okay? That jaw that's grabbing, that's trying to protect you from something. It's trying to protect you from sounding bad, from looking bad, from being embarrassed, from failing. But until and unless we understand the root of what the tension is from, guys, the tension is just your body reacting to something in your mind. That's it. So anybody who tells you that they can get rid of tension in your voice without addressing why there's tension in the first place, they are lying to you, okay? Because the symptoms are just, it's part of the greater problem, which is that there's stuff going on, run riot in your mind, causing fear, causing all these things that then sabotage when they get taken into your body as tension. They sabotage your best sound and your gifted instrument. So if you can imagine just kind of cozying up to tension and strain and like palling around with them for a while and really getting to know how and where and when they show up, whether it's in your performances or whether it's in your technique exercises. I mean, okay, question for you guys. How many of you feel really comfortable and there's no tension, there's no strain when you're just in your own practice versus when you have an audition or a performance, then all of a sudden the tension and the strain shows up? Does anybody relate to that? Hit me in the chat. I want to know. Because it's a big problem if you can do it one way when you're on your own, but you can't do it the same when you're in front of an audience. That's not a technique problem. That is a mindset problem because your mind is creating different meaning in different circumstances for each situation that your body is reacting to differently. One of them creates tension and strain, one of them does not. Okay? So how many of you realize that there's a discrepancy when you sing and you've never been able to figure it out? I guarantee you, hand to God, 99% of it is this. It's the unexamined mindset that is causing all the problems with the skill set, preventing you from succeeding the way you want. Okay? And so once you understand why these tensions are showing up, what is the fear that is driving them to be there, then you are equipped to do the work that will transform those fears. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I see somebody on Facebook. Go ahead and do, who just said that? Because right now I see Facebook user, things that go right out the window live, especially if it's a rush to get on stage or off stage or a restless room. Put your name in the chat. Because right now it just says Facebook user. But I totally know what you're talking about. You're absolutely right. And there's a reason these things, Jeremy, thank you, Jeremy. These things go completely out the window. And it's not because intellectually you don't know what to do with your technique in that moment. Now, granted, there might be some skills and some gaps in the skill set that we need to, fix. But for the most part, if you can do it one way when you're on your own and it doesn't show up the same way when you're in another circumstance, that's a symptom of a larger problem, which is that there's stuff going on up here that your body is responding to. And if we don't take care of that and in the moment of singing, show you how to have a different relationship, the tension will never go away. Never, never, never. Okay. So you've got to understand why this tension is showing up. What is the fear that's driving them to be there? What is the, usually, guys, it's fear of losing what I have or not getting what I want. I mean, it's that simple. Fear of failing, fear of failure. If this is your love, this is what you want to do with your life. You want to be a professional performer. You want to be able to make a beautiful living with your singing and not have to watch somebody else up there doing what you love while you're like, having 12 different day jobs, right? That fear and having to be there for the rest of your life, that's what's driving the tension. Because in that moment that you have a big audition or a big performance, you don't want to fail. Because you know why? In that moment, your mind is going on domino effect, which means that if I fail at this, then I'm going to end up working at Burger King for the rest of my life, or proving my mom right, who said you could never be a professional singer. And so now you don't want that to happen. So now you're in that tension to try to force the solution. But it actually creates the bad sound, the bad audition, the bad recording that you were scared of making in the first place. And that's what we're here to talk about, okay? So once you understand where this holding and these fears and the things coming from that are where the tension is rooted in, when you do that, poof, the tension and the strain begins to disappear. And it's so powerful. You guys, I watch the singers who are in our intensive training do this like on the daily. And like literally minute to minute, 1 minute they're in their habit, another minute we get in there and we start to address what's going on, which is why they're having the tension. And then literally the next time they sing it again, 5 minutes later, after we've done this, the tension is annihilated. And so it's so powerful because when you change your thinking, you change your singing. Like I joke with the singers in our intensive training that I'm going to have that like tattooed on my forehead. It's going to be on my gravestone. It's going to be because it's the thing that most teachers of singing don't understand. They're only trying to teach you skill set. And skill set in the absence of mindset is a complete waste of time. When you change your thinking, you change your singing because the body and the voice are only ever responding to what's going on with your mind. So if you're like most singers that I work with, you're probably not even aware of how much tension that you're in when you sing. Like you're numb to it. And it's been there for so long, like you don't even remember what it's like to sing without it. And so the first thing, in order to shift this, is you got to work on your present moment body awareness. So don't go on autopilot when you sing. Be aware of what your body is doing in every moment right now so that you can pinpoint the moments that the tension occurs. Is it on the inhale? Is it in your neck? Is it in your ribs? Is it on the onset of the phrase? In your neck, your jaw, your ribs, your abdomen? Is it on the high note as the high note approaches? When is this tension happening and where is it happening? Is it during the high notes? Is it at the end of a phrase? Do you tense up at the end to stop singing? Is that your way of finishing? What that looks like is, whatever. Amazing grace. Did you see that? Right? Some people do that. That's how they stop the sound, is they grab, okay? So if you're on autopilot, you will never be able to be aware of what's going on and you won't fix these things because you can only fix that which you're aware of. So the first thing is present moment awareness in what you are singing. So if you're sick of being waylaid by tension and strain, then you need to learn how to be present in your body when you sing. Like how many of you have ever had this experience where like you sing something and then you finish and you literally like, where did I go? Like, where was I for 4 minutes? Like you literally like went somewhere else. And somebody will ask you like, how'd that go? And you don't even know because you weren't even in your body. Does that happen to anybody? Hit me in the chat. Because this is a real thing. Like this totally happens. Yeah, right. I see you. You guys are like, yeah. It's so funny trying to like watch you guys comment on like 4 different platforms. But this is real, okay? And so the consequences of the tension and the strain and not understanding the root of it are too great not to do this, not to start get present, not to start understanding where it comes from and where it lives. Because guys, tension, it is a career ender. Because number one, it is the leading cause of vocal injury, nodes, vocal hemorrhage, paralyzed vocal cords. You guys, Adele, she has had 3 vocal hemorrhages. Why? I guarantee you she's got freaking amazing vocal coaches out there who are experts, who are teaching her proper technique. And yet when she gets up there on stage, she's had to cancel 3 tours. Okay, because of this, because of a vocal hemorrhage, because she gets on stage. And even though I guarantee you she's getting the best expert, training, nobody is addressing with her what's happening up here. So when she gets on stage, all that she's got, hundreds, if not thousands of people's livelihoods depending on her tour. She's got fans who know her and love her. There's a lot to prove, okay? And so she doesn't know how to deal with that. So she gets up there and she engages in all the old habits that she's had. She doesn't use the new technique, maybe because she fears that she won't sound the same, maybe because nobody's taught her how to sound the same with it, whatever it is. And now she gets yet another vocal hemorrhage. Guys, if anybody knows Adele, tell her to come find me because we can freaking fix this. But coming back to you, tension will end your career because it is the leading cause of vocal injury and it will take you out. It affects your ability to do your job. It blocks your connection to your audience. You guys, the energetic flow, you have one job as a singer, and it is to connect and make an impact on your audience. And that tension, it blocks that connection from the audience, and that energetic exchange vanishes. And now there's no impact. And without impact, there is no income. Okay? Impact equals income. You want to do this for real? You can't lose that connection because you will lose your impact and you will not get hired. You will not get paid. People will not listen to your records. I say this not to scare you, but because this is just 25 years of being a professional singer myself and helping other singers succeed talking here. Okay. Plus, nobody likes watching a singer who is in so much tension. It's really uncomfortable to watch. Like, I'm sure you've seen singers like this, like where the veins are popping out their neck and you're like worried for them. Are they going to make it? Like, it's uncomfortable. Okay. Nobody wants to watch that. And so then, like, your auditions won't land, the performances don't land, the recordings don't land. You know, the decision makers who can really get you those breaks in your career, they're not casting you, they're not bringing you on, they're not signing you on their rosters, they're not representing you because they're not going to want to make their audiences uncomfortable either. So now, you know, your live performances will suffer. People come to one show and they're never going to come back because it's not fun and it's not cute. It doesn't sound good and it doesn't feel good. Okay. So I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you guys. If you've gotten to know me at all, you know that I'm going to tell it to you straight. The cycle of tension and strain is a killer because once you're in it, then it decks your confidence and it makes that fear cycle, that negative feedback loop, even worse. And so, as I was just talking to you about the tension, it just makes it harder for you to sing well. So you feel even more insecure and even more inadequate, which just makes you tense even more because you don't want to feel insecure and inadequate. You don't want to fail at this gift that God gave you. So you tense even more to force the outcome and to force the voice. And it's just this horrible, horrible negative feedback loop. And it's a terrible place to be. And so I have a very specific and methodical way of training the singers who are in our intensive training to get them out of tension and out of that fear and into freedom and trust. So do not spend another day in a negative feedback loop, in this tension. Get help. Whether it's working with us in our intensive training, whether it's somewhere else, just get on it. Because the longer you wait to deal with the mindset, what I call the stinking thinking, that is creating this tension that your body is responding to, the worse the tension will get. Guys, this does not get better on its own, and it only gets worse over time. And it will take you out, either in the form of a career-ending injury, or you'll take yourself out because it's affecting your ability to succeed, and you will quit and you will sacrifice your dream. And so either way, not dealing with the root cause of this tension and this strain, it's just going to land you in the same place, which is on the bench. Not living your passion and your purpose successfully as a singer, not fully realizing the gifts that you were born with, and having to be in that suffering, watching somebody else live your dream, and it's not you. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you, not when we can change it. Okay. So if tension is sidelining you right now and you are done with this merry-go-round and you have tried everything to be able to be more consistent with your voice, be able to trust your voice, you've tried traditional training, you've tried all these things, acupuncture, this and that, and you're still not seeing the results that you want in the form of the voice you can trust and the career that you can have from it, if you absolutely refuse to go one more day further down this tension vortex rabbit hole, if you feel overwhelmed with everything that I just said, And if you don't know where to begin to try to fix this on your own, that's what I'm here for. This is what I am the best in the world at, guys. I say this all the time. I don't play the false humility game. When I tell you I'm the best in the world at this, this is what I do all day, every day, especially with those who are working with me in our intensive training and the team of coaches that we have working with you, including myself. Like, this is what we're the best at, which is to be able to solve the vocal problems and the things that have been plaguing you forever and ever because you've only ever had traditional training, or you've only kind of dabbled because nothing ever worked for you. And so you never stuck with it. And so you've never fully realized what you could with your voice. And so you're not succeeding. And so this is what we're really, really, really good at, which is guiding you through a proven step-by-step practice to get your head screwed on, right? Transform your thinking, integrate it with the best vocal techniques out there from the last 300 plus years of vocal pedagogy, and setting you up with a rock solid foundation from which you can build your singing career however high you want it to go. So instead of trying to wing this on your own, instead of trusting the old-fashioned way of training to fix it, because it doesn't, and you know that because you've had that training, and here you are, instead of trying to figure this all out by yourself, I invite you to book a call with me. Let's get this sorted. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. Okay. Here we go. I'll put book a, whoops, I should spell it right. Book a call. Okay, guys, here's the link. Okay, it's in the chat. And I don't know if it's going to show up in the IG chat because this is me news streaming on multiple platforms. So I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to put it in the Instagram chat too. There it is. You can see it on the screen. Wait, let me put it in IG. Sorry, guys. So many of you are just so much more good at this tech stuff than me, but it doesn't matter. I'm really good at transforming voices, so who cares? Okay, here we go. All right, hopefully you guys can see that. Yes, you can. I think you should be able to. So here's the thing, guys. And wait, I need to be able to see you now. Where did I go? Okay. I'm not going to lie to you guys, okay? Like, this call is not for everyone, right? This is for you if you're really serious and committed to being able to reach the full potential of your voice and you're willing to do whatever you need to do to get there. This is not for people who are just like, oh yeah, I'd just like to sing better. Like, that is not a level of commitment that I play with, okay? What we do works because our singers are committed to working it. And so if that's you, get on my call calendar. We're going to have a conversation, about 45 minutes or so, hour tops. And we're going to talk about what's working, what's not working, where you are, where you want to go, the gap between where you are and where you want to go, and the big issues that you've been coming up against. And I will share with you the strategy that we use with the singers in our intensive training to fix this, including tension and strain, but not limited to, because when we address the tension strain, you guys, this is a 360 problem. And so it requires a 360 solution. And that's why we get the results we do for our singers, because I'm not just looking at me, me, ma, right? I'm giving you like deep transformative tools so that when you do me, me, ma, your body actually can engage with the technique that I'm teaching you, and you're not getting in your own way to that end, okay? Because your body can't do what your brain is sabotaging. So we're going to talk about all the ways that you feel you are being sabotaged. And if you would like my help to be able to shift this, then we can talk about what that looks like. And if it's a fit to work together, I will show you what that is. And if not, that's okay too. Okay. But if you are just a dabbler, if you are somebody who just likes to kick tires and get some free information, like, this call is not for you. Okay. This is only for those of you who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. You've never been able to fix this for yourself, and you're ready once and for all to annihilate the tension so you can get out there with consistency, with trust, and with absolute impact so that you can land auditions. You can get paid to sing. You book gigs. You have recordings that people actually listen to, because now you are an open channel and you know how to make that impact. So I'd love to open it up to see if any of you guys have any questions, to go ahead and type into the chat. I have about 5 minutes before my daughter's going to walk home from school. I literally just saw the school bus travel by, and I know it's going to be like 5 minutes before she makes her way. So if you have a question, go ahead, type it into the chat, and hopefully I can answer you live. Otherwise, I will absolutely answer you in the chat as well. Otherwise, don't overthink it. Get on my call calendar and let's address all the issues and get rid of the tension. Okay, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day since I don't see any questions. And if I missed it, I will go back and I will answer you in the chat. Bye, everybody. Have an amazing day.